Shalom to the elect and 1/3 of the nation of Israel. Give it all praises to the Most High, Yahweh Shai, Shai, Ba'Shem Kadash. The true name of the Most High is and His Son. All right. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who rule well, who are the leaders of Yasharallah in this current time on earth. All right. Through the Spirit and power of Yahweh Shai, Shai. All right, I want to get into this legislature on the books for America that allow the government to come in and fucking cut off all forms of communication in the form of a crisis, man. Pretty much a fulfillment of prophecy is what the Heavenly Father set up the prophets, all right, his men to reveal these things, all right, and as they have for the past several decades, all right, in this last time when he was going to bring back his children, you know what I'm saying, a remnant of the nation of Israel, he was going to bring back to him, all right, and what they've been speaking on about how this man can fucking can do shit that you would deem unconstitutional or against basic rights that a motherfucker is supposed to have, that he's gonna abandon all that he doesn't care about any of that, and how ruthless this motherfucker is. All right, but let's gonna get this real quick. Yes, the government can shut down communication. Here's why. Our world revolves around communication, whether that's by face-to-face conversations, phone calls, social media discussions, and the like. And real quick sidebar, in history, all throughout, he operates in this way. And this is a form of siege, okay? When you cut off different resources, communication is one of the top forms of resources in the form of commerce. Communication is centrifugal to a lot of business and commerce, man. All right, so it's a form of siege, and one real quick modern example that I can think of is in Chernobyl. What he did when that fucking disaster took place, the people who were in charge of that RBMK reactor facility, the heads of that shit, and there was different government officials of Chernobyl that were in this meeting right after the disaster happened, and these motherfuckers, the first thing they did was cut all communications, all the phone lines and shit, because it was landlines at the time, no cell phones, but they cut all landlines and any form of communication, and they fucking they blocked the entrances to that city, Chernobyl. Nobody comes in, nobody goes out. The motherfucker said it. You know what I'm saying? That's one of the quotes from the true events of what went down in that place. So this is one of the tactics of the so-called white man, the devil the Bible speaks of. All right. It says communication is embedded in our beings. Our needs to stay connected go beyond staying in touch with our loved ones, but also we have an inherent need to know what's going on around us. Technology has shaped us to depend heavily on the internet and mobile devices, since they've become some of the most rapid means of delivering and receiving information. But unfortunately, we can't rely on them as our primary means of communication. There's been a lot of speculation about whether the government has the authority to regulate the internet and our cell phones, and believe it or not, they do. Let's break it down by answering some common questions. What powers does the federal government have on communication? The President of the U.S. has the power to shut down wired and wireless forms of communication if he believes that there is a national emergency or it's in the best interest of maintaining national security. This includes television, radio, telephone, mobile phone networks, and the internet. In brief, these are the laws granting such authority to the president. You have the Communications Act of 1934. This act instituted the Federal Communications Commission, FCC, to oversee and regulate telephone, telegraph, and radio communications. Section 706, disguised as U.S. Code 606, is a key component of the Communications Act. It allows the president to take control of any facility or station for wire communication during a state of threat of war. While the U.S. is not run by the U.S. government, while the internet is not run by the U.S. government, more on that in a minute, this law would allow the president to issue an order requiring internet companies as well as other means of communication to shut down for an undefined period of time. Next, you have the Telecommunications Act of 1996. This was an important amendment to the Communications Act of 1934, which allowed any communication business to compete within the telephone and broadcasting market, thereby making telecommunications cheaper and more accessible to the public. This was also the first piece of legislation in the U.S. that addressed access and regulations to the internet. Okay? The powers of the president concerning communication are ambiguous and outdated considering the way technology has advanced since these laws were enacted in 1934 and 96. All right, that's there you go. And this is just on the books. It's a lot more nefarious than it comes off as, because we know that this man is the master of deception. Okay? But let's just get these scriptures now, because I just showed you. This man can shut off and will, and he does. This is how he operates in national security, and we know that he manufactures a national security threat. That's evident through fucking you know what I'm saying? Through that shit that went down in 01. Just so that this shit doesn't get fucking taken down. But you know what I'm saying? That shit that went down in 01. But let's get this in Revelation 12 and 12. Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time. All right? So, so-called white man was known as, they put that name on themselves, the Caucasians. All right? What the world knows as the Caucasians. And that's not just it's not just, doesn't stop at an American or what you think is American, because they're just fucking what is that? When a nigga comes over from another spot, they're just immigrants themselves, man. All right, and then even in Europe, they call themselves the Europeans. They didn't occupy that land originally. So, but all the different Edomites, the Russians, right? All these different so-called Caucasians, so-called pale skins that you know as. And it's not, reserved and exclusive to people with light skin, because they could be Israelites, but for the most part, for understanding, for the most part, the damn pale skins, man, they are the biblical Edomites. and they are linked to the devil. They are the devil. They're the wicked. They have different terms reserved for them, several different titles and fucking you know what I'm saying, births, positions, and different verbiage that's associated with them. And they are the devil. The Bible speaks of in being that they're the physical counterpart of the spiritual demon Satan. Okay, so this man is going to pull out all the stops, as they call it. He's going to use whatever means he can, and he's got a lot of technology and a lot of devices that this world doesn't know about, because he doesn't fucking whip them out of his trick bag yet. He's got a shitload of stuff that he researched and developed, and he has that's classified, and he's gonna whip out all the stops. And even especially what we're mentioning is these manufactured crises. Okay, he's gonna cook up some shit, some fake shit, false flag, so he can come in and whip out these laws, man, and then ultimately these killing inventions, man. Okay, get that 5G shit, Slovakia. It says knowing that he has a short time because he knows that he's nearing his end. He knows that his world is fucking about to be kaput. It's about to be through. All right. It says in 2 Ezra 15 and 17, a man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able to. This is straight out of the scripture, the prophetic scriptures, man. All right. And this is in the timeline when the uprisings go down. Because these plagues, these calamities, another word is cataclysm, right? When these disasters start taking place, it's going to happen simultaneously. When you look at financial collapse, which is the grinding ceasing, talks about how the keepers of the house shall tremble. That goes into a failing and collapsing economy. That is going to immediately, simultaneously be followed with, because it's a cause and effect as well. These different plagues, these different disasters are going to trigger different disasters, because when the economy collapses, then that's going to lead to a lack of resources, which is another word for a famine, right? And shortages, which is going to lead to more violent crime, which is going to culminate into fucking all-out wars out here in the streets, uprisings of the people, pretty much a free-for-all, every man for himself to get what he can get, to feed himself, and to get whatever resources for survival. Okay? Everyone at each other's throat. Like one of those games, those first-person shooter games like Halo and COD. Fucking, it's like a free-for-all. Everyone, however many people you could get in one of those stages. I didn't really even get into those, but what I know of them, you can have it to where each person has to kill each other. There's no teams, there's none of that, and that's how it's gonna be out here. All right, except not for the men of the Lord, of course, but that's for another time to go into that. The ones in the know that the Most High is gonna keep them. They're gonna be, they're gonna be have abundance. They're going to be filled. They're going to be taken care of by the Most High. But for the rest of these people, for the mass majority, because the scriptures say that this world's made for many and the next for few. So the mass majority of these people are going to be at each other's throats, man, as a result of all the hell and the chaos and hard times, evil times that the Most High is about to unleash in this place, that they won't be able to stop Esau, Edom. But in that, he's going to bring out all his stops. He's going to bring out all the stops. Like I said, he's going to come down with great wrath. All right. And this is, in this prophecy right here, when you look at, like I mentioned, the financial collapse leading to the famine and the class wars, race wars, food riots, which is going to lead to, martial law, okay, and the cutting off of these cities, and this nigga bringing forth his cutting off of all communication, all right, and of travel, because that goes into travel as well, man. Most High willing, I'll follow this up with that clip from the True Events documentary of the Chernobyl, all right, and what they fucking, the tactics they use is the same shit. They cut off all travel and communication, man. It's a martial law, national emergency type scenario. This is in 2nd Ezra 16 and 27. So that one man shall desire to see another and to hear his voice. That's not just going to be because a lot of bodies are going to drop and the places are going to be desolate of men. That's also going to be because of what it just mentioned about how all forms of communication is going to be completely fucking unplugged. Okay, television, Snapchat, fucking what is that shit? Zoom, right? All this shit, fucking a simple phone call. And it just talked about how vital communication is to humans. It showed you a depiction of that in I Am Legend when this nigga Will Smith, the main character, who was pretty much the last survivor after a plague, right? The last human unchanged to a fucking zombie survivor, right? Wasn't around people for so goddamn long, and he was bugging out talking to mannequins. Okay, so it shows you there's even a known thing that a baby, if you don't communicate and give that touch, like contact and shit, that thing will die. Okay, just here, let's get that again. Salakia, I dropped it. Salakia, but one of the first thing it said is how critical communication is for humans, man, for us to function, or else you start bugging out. Okay, after so long. Finishing off in Amos 8 and 11, behold, the days come, saith Yahweh Bashem Shai, that I will send a famine in the land, not a famine of bread, nor a thirst for water, but of hearing the words of Yahweh Bashem Shai. This is another element of that. Okay, this is showing you ultimately who's bringing that famine of communication, which is ultimately is the lack of being able to hear the word, the inability to hear the word of the Most High, which is going to be the most valuable, precious commodity, if you will, precious gem. It is now, but even more so in the time of destruction, when everyone's going to be panning and seeking after that now, right? Because now they know that, fuck, this is the only thing that could have saved us, And now they're gonna to be, you know what I'm saying, begging for that. But it's judgment from your defiance to the Most High. All right. It says, and they shall wander from sea to sea, and from the north even to the east. They shall run to and fro and seek the word of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, and shall not find it. Okay, that was just another element to show you who's bringing this. You know, whose mind was it in for this man to have it in legislation that he can fucking cut all forms of communication, shut it down, shut shit down. All right, have all these people fucked off in these cities out here, man. In America, in these societies in general, man, rural or fucking in urban. All right, and this is all according to prophecy. So with that, all praises, honor, glory to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. Shalom.